Hello, good morning, Jeffrey. It's very, very good to see you. Thanks for taking the time to have this conversation with me. Good to see you. It's very
Yeah,
cold in
good to see you,
Nairobi.
Christine.
What's the weather like in where you are?
Well, I'm stuck in Kampala. The weather is actually rainy right now, but compared to how London is always, this is perfect. This is beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, okay. It's very, very chilly in Nairobi. The cold season has started very early for us. It's very, very cold, but we are good and healthy. We thank God.
I used to find that weird. You people in Nairobi, you say it's cold, and I'm like, really? Seriously?
Well, you live all your other life in Europe, so what we call cold by your standards is a completely different thing. So
Yeah,
it's
but
cold for us. It's cold for us. It's cold
good.
for us. Right now, we are sitting by
Okay.
the fire every evening. All
As long
right.
as it's not cold in your pocket, that's okay. If it's cold in your pocket, that's bad.
That's the conversation we are having here today. That's the conversation we are having here today. Now, my phone has
Oh,
been buzzing for 2 days. I have not been able to meet all my whatevers because my phone has been buzzing. I did a video, and ever since I released that video, my phone has not stopped ringing. Maybe I use this opportunity to communicate with my friends and family. If I haven't returned your call, I'm really sorry. My phone has been buzzing consistently ever since I received that, I released that video. And just to appreciate the concern, there's been an outpouring of concern. Guys, I am okay. I did have to move on short notice. That's a fact. I do need to get my act together. That's a fact. But I don't have my children under a tree. I'm not destitute. There was a picture. Did I not look okay? I am all right. So let's cut off the worrying. I am fine. And let's move the conversation away from misery.
well, but let me just make a little point there. But I think people really this lack of education and what we don't teach in school and we don't teach people in terms of personal development, they should know that if somebody is able to do what you did, they should know that person is good. Okay? Because many people are sitting before the time you made that video. I'm sure it took you some time to make a decision.
Yes.
Most people, they stay in that place where they can never be honest themselves for years and years and years. So for me, when I watched that video, I knew we're good. I would not call you. I would never ever call you and say, "Are you okay?" I'm going to say, "Girl, it's about time."
I think we don't learn. I must confess, maybe I'm not very, very teachable, but I have had such an awakening. Because I think when you fall flat, there's a
Yeah.
certain awakening. Some buttons go off in your head, and you figure, you know what, the time to act is now. So that's the place where I'm at, and I think we can leave that right there. But I'm very
Awesome.
glad to be having this conversation with you.
Okay.
Now, I'm thinking it's time that I pick up the bulls by the horns. I need to do what I should have done. I refer to that in the video. I'm not meeting you right now. I met you about 14 years ago, I want to think. And I did not take the action that you suggested.
Christine, you're trying to make him old. I'm not taking that. 14 years ago, yes, but I was 12 in those days. Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever. I'm
14
about to
years ago,
announce my
cool.
birthday, so I feel nothing for age. Now, I should have
Okay.
taken this action a long time ago, but for whatever reason, I think it's fear of failure, fear of standing out, trying to dim my light. I don't know. I don't want to go into the whys and the wherefores, but I simply did not take the action. What has become very clear to me is I need help. I've been fumbling up and down. I've been not doing business correctly. I've been reactive. I've been chasing my bills month on month, and I'm thinking, I'm just done. In fact, a lot of people who have emailed me because I did display an email, and everybody emailed me, and that was not my official work email, it's just another email that I created. And the emails have been flooding in, and most people are titling their email, I'm done. So clearly, there's people who, like me, are completely done. You're thinking, there is no need to be rotating around, chasing your bills, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So at this point, I have set a target, and Jeffrey, this is my target. I want to make 100, and I know you think in dollars. I know you think in dollars, therefore I'm writing dollars here. And I want to make $100,000 in the next 12 months. I am too old to monkey around anymore. I want 100,000 in the next 12 months. That's 10 million shillings. Now, next 12 months, that will be my next year. I want to make $250,000. The year after that, I want to make $500,000. Now, these are numbers that I am speaking out in public because I'm thinking to myself, I've really run out of time to monkey around. I am out of time. I have to get my ducks in a row. Now, what I need you to do is to kind of hold my hand and tell me, do this, because I am going to do what you asked me to do.
Well, first of all, let's go back slightly when we met 14 years ago. I would admit that we are different people now. We're better, we're wiser. I think we're stronger. We're much more prepared. And I would say there are also areas in my life that I feel that I should have done better. That's called being a human being. It is what it is. So it's really not point of saying I should have done better. This is the time you're supposed to do it, because only when you're ready, you can do something. And that happens to and applies to all of us. But there's one thing we need to at least fix. Okay, the ability to not worry about the basics.
The bills, yes.
You know, they should be taking care of themselves, because when you are chasing bills, you can't actually live your true potential. You can't actually see yourself do anything beyond where you are. Now, the difference between me and most people is that I really never, ever in my life cared about bills. I mean, the last person I pay is somebody who chases me for paying a bill. For me, I'll never ever have a software that makes sure that if I don't get, in the old days, we need to get red letters, right? You get the green and you get a red one. The red means danger, you need to pay, or
deadline, you're beyond deadline, 30 minutes post due.
Right. I always had a software that waits until that letter arrives before I pay, and never pay on time, because I'd rather the money is in my account than in someone else's account. That's why if you ever work for a large corporation, they tell you, we won't pay you 90 days after you've done the work. So you better find a way to feed yourself, because we need the money.
I just did. I was excited. I got a large corporation to give me some work now that I'm doing online training. Yeah. And then I received an email from them. We pay our bills in the first week of the month. So you want this money tomorrow, deal with it. We are going to pay you when we pay you. Deal with it. Yes. So if you're going to work with the little clients who pay you every day, that's different. But if you're going to do any substantial work, then these people will pay you when they'll pay you.
But the message there to learn is to understand that we don't worry about bills because we didn't pay them on time. We worry about bills because we don't have the means to pay them.
To pay the bills,
so if you know you set a direct debit after 60 days before they send you that red letter, they're going to get paid, you won't worry about it. So we need to take care of that. And I usually say, and I'm glad you started with the $100,000 as your first year target, because I really believe that in order for you to comfortably survive, you need that money. And I find it strange, people, especially here, I'm in Uganda right now, people say, well, that's a lot of money. Well, if everything you buy is made in Uganda, that's okay.
That's fine.
But
yes.
We don't make much stuff in Uganda. All the stuff we use
make shillings
come
and
from
we
overseas.
Spend dollars. We make shillings, we spend dollars. That's our whole trap. Everything I'm looking at in this environment is imported, from this light, this camera, this computer, this phone. Everything, even this cat is imported. Everything is imported. So we make shillings and we spend dollars.
And the other thing is, when you think in shillings, you start to you lower your standards. You tend to think that the world will respond to your low way of thinking, of look at life. So really, you need to go that further. But also, we had a conversation before when I said that to make any amount of money is not a problem.
Okay.
The mistake people make is that they're hoping it's just going to happen, but then getting on their knees and pray and hope something is going to happen. You see, it's always better to be prepared for an opportunity you don't have than having an opportunity and not being prepared. For most people, they're really not prepared. So not only they're worried about the bills, but they're worried about the future because they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. You see, if first of all, people can see the light at the end of the tunnel, they know it's coming, you don't get that much frustrated about life. But when you don't see anything coming, then really you are stuck. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because generating $100 or $200 million is not a problem. But the thing is, people hoping they can move from 0 to $1 million. or from 0 to 100,000. So I'm not saying you can't make 100,000 for a share. You can, but you have to be able to see more than $100,000 in your head.
In my mind. Okay.
If you can't see it in your head, then it will never happen.
Realize.
Yeah. So let me see if I can share this desktop and see if we can make if it can work. Okay,
all right. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
So basically what I've done, I've written down 12 months, 24.
Okay. You actually wrote down what I was saying. Yes.
36. Now, the thing is, remember the conversation we had? We said that in order for you, from where you are, Kristin, because you're not starting from scratch.
Okay.
You have some knowledge.
Okay.
You've been coaching and training in the past. Okay. Yes. So you're not starting from scratch. And by the way, anybody from the age of 25, they know something someone else doesn't know. They're not starting from scratch. And I'm not saying the under 25 don't, but I'm saying the under 25, I'm happy for them to take all the risks they can take when they have nothing to lose. Their job is to learn.
They're still flexible.
Over that age, now you know you need to take what you know and turn into an income. But remember, it doesn't happen without you doing some kind of putting some investments in. An investment in terms of time.
Okay.
Okay. But the most important investment is money.
Okay.
But for most people, they don't want to put in the money. And unfortunately, Kristin, I'm not going to sit here and give you that story that's going to just happen. You know, you need to remember this conversation before. I said that in order for you to generate this 100,000, you need to have a product to sell.
Oh, okay. The first thing I have to have is a product to sell, because money will fall from the sky.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have a product.
Okay.
Once you have a product, and then that product should have value. So if you sold something for $100,000, okay, how can I squeeze this in? If your product is $100,000 each, 100K.
Then I have to sell just one.
Just one.
Okay. I get it.
If it's 10K, is
10. Okay.
If 1,000, 1K is what? 100, right?
100, yes. 100,
and if it's 100, then it's what? 1,000.
Oh,
so the question is,
if it's $100, then I need to sell 1,000 of them. All right.
$100. Okay, let's use the word dollars.
Okay.
So the question is, you need to decide how quickly you want to get there.
Okay.
So if you create a product worth $100, you need to be able to sell 1,000 to make 100,000.
Okay. Now I have to think.
Now for most people,
$100 will be 10,000 shillings. Okay.
So let me ask you a question. The product you had before you've been selling, does it require you to be physically there selling it, or it can be sold without you being there?
My product has been training, and I need to physically be in the room to train.
Okay. So that's another problem.
Okay.
That if you have to be physically there, that your business cannot survive you being there, then that's also the challenge you face. So 100 grand, easy to make, but you need a product to sell. And ideally, let me ask you a question. Give me a number. You prefer to sell 1,000, 110, or 1? Of course, 1 could be a bit of a challenge. Okay. But you can choose either 10 or 100.
I'd like to sell 10. If I can sell a product worth $10,000 to 10 people, it's a lot less work than selling 100,000 people at $1. Yes, I'd like to be there. One of those.
But the reality, how we start, they start from free.
Okay.
You have something for free first.
Okay.
Then from free, because people won't move from 0 to 100,000 or to 10,000.
Okay.
Then from
because
0,
they don't know me
you
yet,
have.
Do they?
Yes, you need to give them something for free so they get to know you.
Okay.
And then from free, you need to get them something. Let me create a new. So you need to give something for free.
Uh-huh.
If you don't see on the screen, let me know.
No, I
For
can see it on
free.
the screen.
And then from there, you need to create something from $10 to $100.
Okay, so are you saying, let me be sure I get this, Jeffrey. You're saying that I'm not going to choose one category and stay on that category. I'm going to have the
doesn't work like
breakdown
that.
so that I
Yeah.
will have something that is free. I will have something that is
Free.
$10. I will have something
To
that
100, between $10 to $100, no between. Okay?
Okay.
Free from 10 to 100.
Okay.
Okay, from 100
Uh-huh.
to 1,000.
Maybe 500.
No, 1,000.
$1,000. Okay.
Yeah. And then from 1,000 to all the way to 10,000.
To $10,000. Okay.
Now,
Okay.
this is just a general way of looking at your business model. I'm not saying necessarily it has to be like this, but you have to have product in each of the categories.
Okay. Okay. I get it.
So you need a product in each of these areas. By basically looking at it. There should be a product here, there should be a product here, there should be a product here, there should be a product here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So now, before, you had how many products? One. And what was the value of the product you had?
Okay, if we are going to use let's use the example of my book because that's easier. My book sold at 1,000 shillings. That's the book with the audiobook. That's 1,000 shillings. That is $10.
So that basically fits here.
Yes, it fits at the $10.
$10, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the so, and then you had from 100 to 1,000. What did you had there?
Maybe my training programs. Maybe my training programs to my corporate clients. Those ones will fit there.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on which training program we are doing and depending on how many people sign up for it, we did have products that sell about that much because our average training for 3 days will usually be about 72,500. So it's roughly about that. It's between $100 and $1,000.
Okay, so the question is, if you had a training for $1,000, find out for $1,000, then I could imagine you could easily generate $100,000. What do you think was the problem?
I think my brand is very vague. It's not, no, let me say one word, marketing. I think my marketing is very poor because my marketing depended on my clients telling other clients to come. And really it's marketing. It's just marketing.
Okay, so also, first of all, the product that you're selling, are they at the standard that anybody around the world can actually feel that they're buying an international product?
No, because let me draw you a picture of what my training looks like. It's it kind of morphs. It's not as standardized. No, the short answer is no. It's not of an international standard. Now that I've become exposed to international standard, it's not of international standard. Now that we're doing online, I've become exposed to what is available. So definitely not to international standards.
Okay, so just to remind you that first we say you need a product, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, once you have a product, then you need to make sure, and we're going to talk about the product in a second, but once you finish the product, you have international standard product, then you need to invest in marketing.
Okay.
And you always remember, you need to invest 10% of the target.
Yeah, you said that once to me. Just let me understand that. 10% of my target income, is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right. Now my target is $100,000. So you're saying that I need to invest $1,000 in marketing my product.
$10,000. If your target is 100,000, you said.
Yes, it is.
So your target marketing budget must be 10% of that.
Okay.
The mistake people make, they think it's just going to happen organically. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It can happen.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, why go through the pain when you have the model? If you don't have 10,000, then reduce your target income. Simple.
Okay.
Put it where you can afford, but don't expect the marketplace to respond to you without you putting something there.
Okay.
Don't expect Facebook or Google or any of your friends to refer a business to you without getting something returned. And who's going to tell them? You have to understand that. And that's where most people, they watch these gurus online. It's, I'm going to show you to marketing, no money. You're going to build your team, no money. You're going to do this. And you're going to start from nothing. You're going to build a following. It doesn't work if you want to get there realistically. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You can get there. In the old days, it was actually possible to build a following really quickly online. Now, listen, things changes every single week. That Facebook, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these companies, they're trying to find a way to make more money out of you. You actually have to pay them to tell the people follow you.
Yes,
to come and watch
you have
what you
so
provide.
many friends online, and you notice that you're only receiving in your feed what 2 or 3
because if
people
you don't pay them, you can pay a little bit less, but you still have to pay. They figure that one out. So the point is, one, you need to have, we agree, you need to have a product, okay? But the product needs to be at the highest standard.
I need to have an international standard product. But I have to start from scratch. I'm looking at myself like I want to start from scratch, because what I have done in the past is substandard. It's only, it can't take me where I'm trying to go. So I'm starting from scratch. I need to develop a product that is of international standard.
Okay, now I'm going to use, I've got my, I don't want to, okay, I know you're recording this. Are you recording this?
Yes, I'm recording this because I want to share this with, I already have a lot of people who are asking to join my team, and I want to share this with them.
So this is basically, years ago, I was the man by the name of Mark Victor Hansen in the US. This was like, I think 15, 18 years ago.
Of, Chicken Soup for the Soul.
The co-founder of Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was the first person who talked about multiple products. He was the only person 15, 17 years ago who basically talked about that you need to have multiple products so you can create multiple streams of income. Actually, in those days, I used to hang around with a guy by the name of Jay Allen. And he was basically, he used to teach real estate and he talked about multiple streams of income. And he used to talk about every single thing you do must package it as a multiple stream. Now I've got this on a big board on the other side. If you see that board over there,
that's actually in your background.
It's this. And what I want to say to you, the first thing you need to do is, I'm not going to try to convince you why you should create a product. You know you need a product to sell.
Yes.
But you need to start from the beginning. So people say, Jeffrey, can I start from a book, an audio book, or whatever coaching program? No. You want to get there first, Christine, start from a book. Okay. Start from a book. Now, it's the biggest challenge people face. When they think of a book, they really get too hooked on the book. That is, a book is that important. It is important, but not that important, but it is important. But remember, your first book, Christine, must be a book, my darling. I remember your first book, okay?
A tiny little thing.
Okay. It was a little booklet that people would think they can easily do that. But you know they can't. Now, it doesn't mean a little book don't have more information than a bigger book, but people think a bigger book has more. Marketing is all about what people perceive. Perception is reality. People perceive that this book here, okay, it's bigger, it has more value than a tiny little book. I don't have a tiny little book to share as an example, but make sure the book stands. Why? Because people are going to take this book and put it on their shelves. They don't put little books on their shelves. There's also a certain amount of size, shape that end up on people's shelves. If it's tiny, they don't put it because it doesn't match.
Yes. Oh my
darling, if you watch people being interviewed today, they always have books at the back.
Yes.
but the tiny little don't show up. On top of that, because we are thinking of many products, you need to make sure this book has a structure that allows you to make sure you have a system that will cover many topics, because we're going to create this and we turn into many training programs.
Okay.
There's a consistency of all the books we create. There has to be, we creating them, there's a structure,
Okay.
there's a training module that's attached to think until the end.
Okay.
When you do that, then the book, the research and content gathering plus your story, and by the way, it has to cover your story. Okay. Your story, your knowledge, experiences, expertise, everything else is in your first book should cover everything. I know people say, Jeffrey, what should I start? Start with your life story attached to the message. And when we do that, we make sure that we're targeting for, who is going to collaborate and partner with, who is going to give it away, who are you going to basically sell it to or give it away to, or kind of get it to the market. So it's not about you having as many copies sold, but you need to be given the credibility it deserves so that your book should stand on the same shelves as Bill Clinton's book or as any big player's book. Otherwise, most people, they write this little tiny little book, and I understand why they do that, because to write a 300, 250 page book is a lot of work. But some people say, but Jeffrey, it's my story. Nobody gives a monkey about your story, Christine. You did that video, you have a challenge. Honestly, honey, people don't care.
People don't care.
Yes, they pretend they care, but they don't. But they do care if you can tell them how you're going to get out of this, because they go through the same thing themselves. Now, if you can find a way to help to get somebody who can take that story of yours, package it with what you know, with a solution you're trying to provide, then your story has value, because your story, your kids will love it. But people in other countries won't care. The only thing they care about what the lessons from it.
What are the lessons
so
from my
now,
story?
First is the book, that $10 product we talked about. And then this book should be turned into an audiobook.
Okay.
Now, people said to me, Jeffrey, people don't do CDs anymore. I know. But guess what? Perception is key. And we need to make sure 4 to 6 CDs.
Okay.
Now, do they going to receive an MP3 player? Yes. Are they going to be able to access this online? Yes. But are we packaging it? Yes. Because we need. By the way, I'm in Uganda. I don't have my tool with me. This is the only thing I found here. I left here last time. So excuse, I don't have all the examples, but I can give you. So I gave you, when you read a bigger book, you get 4 CD. If it's a small book, the book you wrote, the first book, there'll be 1 little CD. And you can't ask somebody to pay more for something little small.
It had 1 CD attached.
1 CD attached.
Yes.
Now, having said that, it is true that people listen more than they read.
Yes.
So you turn that book and turn into, let me see if I can have a better pen. You turn that book and turn into an ebook, because people read on Kindle and, electronic version. So take the book, turn into an ebook. But then, like I said, we need to read that book
into an audiobook. So so far we have 3 products, right?
3 products. And make sure you don't read the book, because we have the way we sound that some people don't understand what we say. So you need to find somebody, English is their first language, or they're really, really good, because reading a book is very complicated. Some people read their own books, but I tell you what, a professional read the book that actually keep people engaged listening. When you read the book yourself, yes, you can. I'm not saying you couldn't, but I wouldn't recommend it if that's not what you do. You need a voice that gets somebody. You are the author of the book, but somebody should be the one to basically
read the book. Yes, yes.
So it's actually no problem for you to have a book written by you, but read by someone else. Ideally, a radio voice, professional radio type voice. Why not? So you can engage people. Now, from there, then you go on also to create something, what I call something for free.
Okay.
So you need something, I don't know if this pen will write better. No, you can't see. That's called some kind of a special report.
Okay.
A special report, it's basically sales document,
Okay.
but really gives people an understanding on what this message is about. It gives them something they can learn from, but something they can use, because you need to give them something for nothing before they can actually get the chance to get to know you beyond the video. Because I know you did a YouTube video as an example, but before I give my name and email address to connect me to your video, to your list, what does it need from me? So we need to create products and give away for free in order for that to happen. And then from there, then remember, the information come from where?
From the book. Now,
From
all of this is building onto the same, the product.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's the same book
Absolutely. On
content.
the same
now,
message.
This same content,
same message.
this same message is what I am making multiple products from.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. I get it.
So basically what you're trying to do, what you're doing is that, because the message should not change. People's message changes every week. The message should not change.
Okay.
If you look at books like The 7 Habits, okay, the Robert Kiyosaki, even though the Poor Dad Rich Dad, even though they expanded on it, but the first message was very clear. And then improved version 2, version 3, version 4, or update version or an addition. But initially, a message had to be sold and communicated in the 5 way people learn. Remember, we talked about this. We said people learn by reading.
Okay. Listening.
They learn by listening. They learn by watching.
Okay.
They learn by experiencing those workshops and seminars. And they learn by mastering that message, which is coaching and mentoring. Because human beings, it takes a long time to learn. Christine, your daughter is 18 and you're still not so sure if you can let her get out on her own.
True.
18 years and we still can't trust them.
Okay.
So human being takes a long time to learn. Okay? So when my daughter went to university, first time I had to go there to make sure she's okay. She's 19 years old and I'm scared. I'm worried about if she's going to be okay. 19 years. Animals takes a few hours and they're ready to move.
Yes, they're born and they start running. Yes, very true.
Because they need to survive.
Yes.
Human being. So we need to create a coaching program, mentoring program. So that's why you need I will describe as, you need a workbook.
Okay.
That workbook now, and I don't have a workbook for this book to give you as an example, but I can give you some example of one of my workbooks.
Okay.
So this is supposed to be one workbook,
okay,
but broken into 12 units, and that work come from this book. These come from this book.
Okay.
So
Just
this is the
hold
Wealth
it up for a
Messenger.
second. Okay, Wealth Messenger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the program that I teach. Before you do this business, Christine, you need to learn this industry. You need to learn this business.
Okay.
So this is a program, basically, it comes with the book, an audiobook special report. It comes with 12 volumes. Okay. So 12 volumes. This is done within 30 days.
Which part is done within 30 days? I want to be sure I understand this. The whole product
this program, the program that teaches you all this. What we're talking about here takes between 30 to almost 12 weeks, but we only do it within 30 days because we don't want to spend too much time teaching people this. This is the program that I teach. Before you start doing this, I really encourage you to take the learning first. Why? Because sometimes people start investing in creating content, but if they don't understand why and how, they end up actually pulling out later or spending money in the wrong way. So what I'm saying is that the book must be turned into a training program. So this workbook, it could be one workbook, and I have an example somewhere. It could be one workbook, it could be 12. It depends how you break it down. But this workbook now allows you to teach via webinar. I don't know if you can see that. Can you zoom in? Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Webinar.
Can you see that on screen?
Okay.
You can deliver via webinar because right now most of the coaching is taking place via
We've now
webinar
learned
systems.
what a webinar is. When you used to tell us all those years ago a webinar, we didn't get it. Now we do.
You know, the sad thing, people use the word, it's the new normal. I'm like, where have you been all these years? It's been the normal for the wealthy. I mean, don't tell people that. Just pretend that you've been doing this. Just lie. You know, It's like I said to people, say, I tell them, have you ever been sued before? And they're happy to say, no, I've never been sued. But I said, they never say that. They don't sue poor people. You know, so if somebody said I've been sued before, just lie. Say I've been sued many times, because that shows you reach. Okay. So when people say, oh, this is a new normal, honey, no, it's been the normal for the wealthy. Anything you see the masses get into it, you are behind the curve. You better catch up now, Kristen. Fast.
Okay. I hear you.
And then obviously, because you have this, again, now it depends on your strength.
Okay.
Because you're happy to speak in public,
yes,
you can deliver this over a seminar. Okay.
Okay.
But remember,
Okay.
you're teaching the same information with the same workbook structure.
Okay.
Or now, once you've done this over the seminar, guess what you're going to do? You're going to record it. I record everything. Always record everything that you do. Okay. You want to learn to speak? Record. You want to learn to do anything you do, you should already record so you can actually listen to yourself. I know you won't like your voice. We all do.
One does. It's very difficult to listen to yourself.
Get over it, because it's your voice. You stuck with it. How dare you say you don't like your voice, but you want other people to listen to you? You know? Okay. And now, the other thing is, once you recorded a few workshops, it means now we can take that audio and turn into an audio CD. A 6 set of an audio CD, but an audio book is read by someone else. Okay. But an audio training CD is your voice.
Now this one is
an audio book can be read. Okay, the audio book is somebody reading the book word for word. Okay. And that requires some kind of
the audio book in my car. It's equivalent, similar to me buying
word for word. And it's good for people learn English because they can listen as they're doing what? Following.
As they're reading, yes, that helps, yes.
Yes. That's audio. But an audio CD is basically you teaching in your own language or in your own broken English. Doesn't matter. Just say exactly as it is, because now people listen to you. And that CD is more than the audio book.
It would be. I can get that.
But you're going to come back to that. Minimum should be 6 CDs. Okay. Maximum 8. Don't go to 12. Okay. But then on top of now, from there, you're going now to take the same message from the book and let somebody make you write a proper keynote speech. You see, people say, I go and deliver speeches, but if you listen to them 3 times, you hear different things every time. If you ever listen to the speakers, even when you met me at the KICC, when you had our big event, when you listen to people like Chip Cummings, if you go and listen to Chip Cummings today, he will say exactly the same thing.
He said in
he talked about, maybe we might kind of adding a coronavirus and mix it with a bit of racial injustices, but it'll be the same thing. You talk to Les Brown, it'll be the same stuff. When I brought Les Brown to the UK 2004, the first time I brought him to the UK, we used to have an action conference with the 4th largest company in the UK, bringing speakers from other part of the world to the UK, especially US. And if that guy did not tell his radio show story, I won't pay him. Okay? So because we're waiting for that. And people are there waiting for that climax. You need to have a keynote speech written, basically, and the message is actually consistent together. That's how you build value. Now, but people, what happens? They start from coaching. I mean, many people say, I'm a coach. I said, what? I'm a coach. You go online to find out what they have, they have nothing, but they're coaching. What? You don't become a coach until you have all these programs. And then you can now do a not one-on-one group coaching. And then from group coaching.
Please break that down a little. What's the difference? What's one-on-one? What's group coaching? Why do I want to
do one-on-one is a nightmare.
Okay.
You're gonna glue the phone to your ear.
Okay.
And you're going to be in trouble all the time. So what you have to be able to do is to make sure you put at least 3-4 people together instead of one at a time. So group coaching.
I think there's also the benefit of us learning from one another. which is what you had told me when I first contacted you.
Absolutely.
And that is why I decided I'm looking for 10. I want to start with 10 so that when I take your 30-day program, there's 10 of us learning together. I think there's energy in knowing someone else is going through what I'm going through, and then we go this together. Provided
those individuals, we actually agree on the target goals privately, personally, we know they're trying to do. The singing kumbaya thing, I don't believe in that. I believe we can help each other to grow, but a bunch of people who basically getting together to work together doesn't work. But once you get to know what they target privately, because this is something private that you do, if I can have a private conversation with you about what you want to achieve, it could be beyond money. Once we know that, then we can work together as a group, but we know what exactly we have to do in the process. So group works, but make sure you identify before you get people in the group, there's synergy to make this work, because group can also mess each other up. Okay, but that's something we can talk about later. But in the meantime, group more than one. And this means, by the way, coaching is for individuals. But when it comes to business, it's consulting. So as long as it's consulting, it's you basically just call it consulting. It's the same information. You're not changing anything. The same information, but you're going to say, hey, you just charge more money. That's all. Okay. For companies.
So just so I'm clear.
But the approach is different.
Consulting is where my client is a corporate, is a company, and they're consulting with me. For
the language will be slightly different.
Which is in the book, in the audio book, in the everything, the same message.
It's the same information.
I'm applying to this particular corporate, and I'm coming in as a consultant. That's it.
Yeah, there will be slightly some work you need to do before you, because each consultant service or job would be kind of customized to their need.
To the specific
client. So once we educate you how to find about them, what they want, their target goals, and then you can customize, but the information is the same, and they're going to get the same information, but the actual delivery could be slightly different. But also you charge more money, period. Okay. Now, second, the other thing is now all this information is available, but needs to be online.
Okay.
Because when people buy training, Christine, they need it now. They don't want to wait next week or next year. I'm looking for answers today. So even though I paid for your course to start next week or 2 months later, I want to start learning today. So you need to give people access to your online training now. So here's why, when you don't have an online presence, an online ability to deliver, then it depending on you, like you actually exchanging your hours for money, and that is painful.
Very, very, very painful.
Now, am I saying you're going to do all this? Most of them, Christine, but we'll talk about that in a second. So, and then from there, you can choose out of the people you're coaching, you're training, there'll be those who deserve your time. So you can now mentor some people. And I like mentorship because mentorship allows you to certify people, to create a certification program that allows you to create what you call an instructor's guide to teach people to deliver your message to others. Because one thing I do believe, Christine, each and every one of us should have their program shared in 100 places at once. And I'm not talking about just online. I'm talking about physical. So if you're to teach,
let me be sure that I understand this. You speak really fast.
Sure.
You're saying that we are going to be able to, is it something like a TOT? So that then I have people who now know my message, who have been around me, who have been mentored by me and coached by me, who are now able to deliver my message on my behalf. Is that what you're saying?
If you created an instructor's guide, yes. And from day one, you remember you said you want to make $250,000 to 3 years from now?
Yes.
No, $500,000 3 years from now? And $250,000 in the next year?
In the next 24 months, yes.
You better have instructor's guide to teach people to deliver that message so they make money for them, but they make money for you. That's the quickest way to get there.
It's a function of me duplicating myself, really.
Absolutely. Beyond online. Beyond online. And in the African market, the most prime market that requires duplication by individuals. You need people to get there and to create jobs and help people. That's the smartest way to do it.
Okay.
Now, before there's something here called languages. That's an option.
Okay.
But if you can try, this book is translated in Spanish and German, and I think now it's going to be translated in Mandarin. But every time you translate the book in another language, your credibility goes up. Yeah.
That I'm assuming that is to target other markets. Like, for example, if I'm doing Mandarin, of course, I'm targeting the Chinese, I'm targeting the Germans, I'm targeting people who speak Spanish. So when I get it translated, that means that now my message is going to these other countries.
Yeah, because now these are the things you do like in year 2. So the first year, you don't worry about that. But next year, definitely, Christine, if you want to do $250,000 and above, you're going to need to open up other markets. And even if you didn't open another market, remember, marketing is perception. If you say to people in Kenya or in Uganda or in China or whatever, and you say, my book is translated in Arabic, they're assuming you're doing business in Arab countries.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Good,
so it's all about the ability to position yourself. Okay. And the final 2 things is called licensing.
Okay.
I told you about a friend of mine with one of our authors. We basically helped take a math book and create a math game, and she just basically completed her first license in Egypt of $250,000. Now the point is that's one country, one territory. But we're going to come back to that later.
I was very blown away with that story, Jeffrey. I was very, very blown away with that story. If you can share that with my friends, please. Tell me that she's called Grace, isn't she? Just let me.
I think people need to understand. One people need to understand that everything that you create, okay, you have either you sell it physically yourself, or you put it online, or you basically create a document that gives people authority to sell them in their countries, in their territory, and for license. The same way all these franchises work.
Let me the same way the story of this lady.
Yeah.
Now she came to your company and you did a book. Her thing is math, and so she makes math easy. So she did a book for maths. Is that what she did?
Yeah, because what a book does,
these products did she do, and how did she get all the way to the licensing? And just
first of all,
the whole licensing, the board game that she created and everything.
No, I don't want to spend too, because what happens, you're going to take away the message, the key message here. Okay. The key message here is not people to worry about things they're going to do in year 2 or year 3. I want them to focus on what we can do now.
What we can do.
What I'm trying to tell them now is that when you create these programs, you're going to find the big money that makes you make $500,000 plus. It's going to come from you taking that message, you package it very well over the first year. You manage to test this knowledge in the market. You can be able to package it the same way. Somebody can create a program like the 7 Habits is sold around the world on a license point of view. So there's so many programs out there you can basically do. So your message, whether it's money, whether it's women support, whether it's math game, whether it's knitting, whatever your hobby is, right now we're going to turn into this. We can package it in such a way that it can let people in other countries. Take Christine. Once you take your programs done in Kenya, are you going to stay in Kenya only?
No.
No. So you need to open up, they say Uganda. How are you going to open up Uganda? You need to train somebody. You need to create an instructor's guide that allows somebody from Uganda to come to Kenya, you to come to Uganda, train that person, let them, give them a license to all these products, to teach the same information in Uganda and keep some amount of money to them and send you a check. Is that royalty or the pay up front? Those are decisions you can come back to them later. But this is where the big money is in licensing, partnership, and collaboration. For Grace, what I tried to convince her over I think a couple of years is to believe that even though she's basically doing an impact in children's life, helping them to, you see, people think maths is hard. And there's this really crazy way of thinking that the kids who love math, they're geeks. But these geeks are the most wealthy people. By the way, if somebody is not embracing maths, if your children are not forced to understand and follow maths, they're going to struggle in life. You need to make sure they understand that this is the key. So we basically make the decision for her to go out and teach mothers and fathers and governments that we need to encourage our children to embrace maths and science, because that's what makes them think, to learn solve problems. That was the bigger picture. But then she realized, how can she make sure she can reach more people? Then she invented the game. I'm not here to take credit of it, but what the credit I do take is that every single person I meet, I tell them, please, the bigger picture to reach the masses. To reach the masses, you need the people who have the ability to open up. I remember when we did that event in Kenya, we partnered with companies like Nakumat. I remember. Nakumat got us in over, how many stores Nakumat? Either 10, 5 or 6.
They have since folded. You obviously haven't been in Kenya in a long time. They have since folded.
Oh, they did? Oh my God, that's a long time. But
it is a long time.
But the point I'm making is that it took us like 2 weeks to sell our tickets through the Nakumat standing, then the last couple of months we struggled to do so. The point I'm trying to make, you need big company, big individuals to help you open up, but you need to make them money. If you don't make them money, they're not interested.
Then, okay.
So that's something we talk about in our wealth creation program. Because this is a short video, Christine, we can't really teach this, but in the 30-day training program, we cover everything in much details, so people can go and do
the 30 days that I'm starting is going to put me through the wealth creation program. That's the one you say.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the final thing, Christine, before we move to something else, is like spokesperson, meaning raising money for charity and good cause.
Okay.
Christine, who supports charities? Rich people or poor people?
Definitely the rich.
Okay.
The rich.
You want access to the rich? Pretend that you care.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. The rich don't help the poor because they love them so much. I'm sorry, this might not be a good comment to make, but they do it because they benefit from it. Because if they show the world that they care, the world think they're nice guys. And then the world, if I'm buying from you and I'm buying from Jeffrey, Christine is giving some of the money to a good cause, Jeffrey keeping all the money for himself. Who are you going to give money to, buy a product to, if both of them have the same product?
The guy who's giving money to a good cause, definitely.
So I went to Moscow. I didn't know anyone else. First time in Moscow, I called Give Blood. The only 3 programs I support is one, Give Blood, if you can see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because my brother had a car accident in Uganda, ended up in Mulago Hospital. There was no blood, and he died. Okay. I did not know. I never thought about it, that blood, they don't buy it. They don't make it.
They don't. I love to give blood. I give blood every 3 months.
And the funny thing is, when I researched in the UK, only 4% of the entire UK population gives blood.
No, people don't give blood at all. Let me just share an experience I had. I gave blood about 2 weeks ago. Like I said, I give blood every 3 months. I give blood. And the last time I went, I was asking them, what's the situation now with the corona and everything? They said they got to the place where the staff of the hospital were the ones giving blood because there was no one coming to give. People don't give blood. I don't get it, but people just don't give blood.
But they don't give because they don't want to, because they don't know. I never thought about it in my life. Nobody ever educated me that if I give it, one day I'll go there, and the reason, because people don't know. So I touch every book that I write, and I go around the world talking about. So when I go to any country, I say, introduce me to give blood. So I go give blood Russia. They put all the wealth people in the room, and I spoke on the subject. I told them the reason why I do and how I help people and that's been open doors. So not only helping, but also you are seen. And by the way, I call myself a spokesperson.
Okay.
For Give Blood UK.
Okay.
Do you know spokespeople? They're really usually celebrities.
Yes, they are.
The other one, water. I grew up during the war in Uganda when I was 7.
Okay.
You used to drink water, you can't even use to clean your car.
Okay.
And then I found out it costs less than $1,000 to actually get the local people to mobilize and create a clean water well for the village. And the other one is youth. I was 9 years old fixing cars on the street over here in Kampala. I wish there was more people out there mentoring people. That's what I say. Every single one of us, we must mentor 10 people a year, minimum. Kids.
Okay.
You need to be able to do that. So the point is, when you're having a conversation, when we teach, when you're doing your speaking, we give you many things to call upon to make you look bigger than you are. Now, this is the suite, Christine,
Uh-huh.
of products.
Yes.
Now, I'll say to you the top expert you know of, they've never created this like that.
Okay.
But the ones you must create, Christine, without any one, you need that.
Okay.
You need a book.
Okay.
You need an audio book. You need a special report. You need a workbook.
Okay.
That will allow you to do webinar, seminar, or so on and so forth. But you need to have a coaching program because you say you want to make money quickly.
Yes.
You need to create an online system setup
Okay.
because without that, you're not going to be able to make the money. And you need an instructor's guide that allows you to replicate yourself. For you, you've been around enough. I'm not suggesting you do it next year. You're going to do it in your first year.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now, of course, once you've done that, then obviously you're going to be doing a spokesperson and so on and so forth. And of course, the keynote speech, we're going to talk about that in a second. This is the tool you need to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 products you must create.
Okay.
To make your numbers basically work. The question now, Christine, which we can have this off camera, is you need to have the ability to create this.
Yes.
Once you created this, then you will go into, now you have the product for free. Okay?
Yes.
You have a product for $10.
The product for free, yes. The book is the $10
You have
product.
a $10 product.
Yes.
But remember, when you combine certain products,
yes.
When people say I do coaching, they need to understand that you can't coach somebody if you have not given them stuff.
Yes.
When somebody signs up for your coaching program, they should receive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different products they receive before they even start their coaching. Because you want them to almost know what they're going to learn before they even start. So, Christine, I'm going to basically leave it there as far as that is concerned. Now, but the thing I just told you earlier is that I'm picking you from 0 to this, and I'm asking you not to be overwhelmed, because the first thing you have to do, we have to go through this training program first. It's a 30-day training program.
Okay.
And this program really helps you to really know what to do next. Because I don't want you to move from 1 0 to 100,000 without knowing exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to do it.
Okay. So
my suggestion is this course here. Okay, it's if you see that 12 units. These 12 units, we cover 3 units a week. Okay. And this is the one, basically, it's £1,000. I live in the UK, not in the US. So we do dollars, we do pounds, but we can talk about that in a second. But my challenge to you is that if you can put other people to work with you together, there's a benefit from doing so.
Because then
we create a 30 days program. Okay. These 30 days, we're going to make it a $4.95 US, but try to get trying to get 9 more people on board.
So that we're in a group of 10.
What I'll do with that is that I'll make sure that we cover everything that we're going to do here. And some people might even be able to go and start doing this themselves. But I'm saying to you, there's no point of me trying to pitch you to do these products if you really have not actually given you the inside track on how you can move from 0 to that $100,000. And all you will need, honestly, if you do this right, you need between 25 to 100 sales to make the 100K in your first year.
Really? Wow.
But you need to be credible.
Okay.
On top of that, we have over 100 authors in about 15 different countries. I don't know if
Okay.
you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
One of the things that I'll share with you is that collaboration is everything.
Yes.
Sometimes it's easier to sell somebody's product than selling yours. So we have strategies when we actually let you give away your material and sell someone else's to still achieve the same goal. But I'll never let you sell somebody's material if you don't have your own. Because what happens, you're passing on the person to the other person, and the other person is going to keep all the relationship.
I'll be doing the marketing and getting the clients, but then I'll be passing on the clients to the owner of this.
Passing it on.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
So you need to be able, they need to buy you. But remember, you can never answer the question for everybody on everything. They're going to be things someone else need to help them with. Christine, people ask me questions about marriage. They ask me questions about the environment. Ask me a question about programming. I mean, some crazy thing about everything, because when people perceive you succeed in one thing, they think you know about everything.
Yes.
But before I leave you to go, Christine, one other thing I'll throw in that coaching program, before I let you go, is the only way you're going to basically overcome the money issue is understanding that wealth is built, I'm not a very good drawer, is built as we build a house. This looks like a house. Can you see that?
It is a house.
Is that a house?
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, a messed up house. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So any house must have what?
Foundation.
Okay. And the foundation is who?
Myself.
Is you. So we need to give you strategies that allows you to invest in your head, in your body, and your appearance.
Yes.
3 things that's very important.
Say that
you
again.
Must have
myself. You said the 3 things I need to invest in are what?
You need to feed your mind, your body, and your appearance. Because first, if we knew better, we'll do better.
We would do better, yes.
But most of us, we don't have a program that forces us to learn every day. And we say things like, I didn't know this was the new normal. It's been the new normal for years. But some people just discovering it today because they didn't have an ongoing learning program that they control themselves. Body-wise, I'm shocked. I mean, I used to think if you spoke in the UK, I would say to you, Africans were most fit people on the planet. But I'm in Uganda, I see more fat people than anything else. Sorry guys, this might be upsetting to you, but I apologize. But I cannot believe how many people overweight in Uganda. It's really crazy.
There's a lot of food in Uganda. I've been there. There's so much food in Uganda.
But I tell you this, if you don't to achieve the numbers you want to achieve, you're going to need all the energy.
I'll have to be fit. That is so true. That is very true.
It doesn't have to be big. It has to be there 15 to half an hour a day. It's easy. You buy these programs on your app. You go on app, you pay $30. You buy these programs. They basically, you monitor you from home. You have to go to the gym. Very simple thing to keep yourself healthy and fit. And the way you present yourself. You know, this whole their way of thinking that people shouldn't judge me the way I look. Don't worry, they do. Okay? They're going to take a look first. So the foundation of your life is everything. And then from there, you start by taking what you've been learning, developing yourself, and turning into an information. This is what we've been talking about here. Everything we've been talking about here is this. It's called the expert industry.
Yes.
This is what taking everything that you know and turning into multiple streams of income. So what you know now, the foundation, is what we're going to turn into
the multiple streams.
And this is the first income here. The next income is basically to make sure you understand that this must be put online.
Okay.
Because what you think is a new normal has been a new normal for years for people.
True.
But you need to understand effectively how. But also, you need to understand that when we do this online thing, you need to understand what's a business.
Okay.
Because, Christine, so many people are generating an income, but they're losing it all because they're not running a business. They're running a hobby.
Okay. Okay.
There are benefits of running a business in any country. We'll come back to that in a second. And the other thing is, you keep more of your money as a business and invest it where?
Real estate.
I've never ever met anybody after traveling 65 different cities, 55 different countries around the world. I've never met anybody financially secure. They've invested in real estate. But you don't do this first. You do this first, second, and then you walk your way. And the final thing is what people in Kenya used to love. I remember people asked me, Jeffrey, teach us the stock market. Crazy people. Because they want free money. The last thing you invest in the stock market.
Okay.
You know. So the foundation is you.
Okay.
And then
I
you
first
take
invest
what you
in
learn.
myself. That's what you're saying. The first thing I invest in is in myself. So me going into this 30-day program is me investing in myself. And there is no need for me to try and invest in anything before I invest in myself. That's what.
Because then you're going in there with your eyes open. Nobody's going to put it all over your head to make you do something. But remember, if you just do that and stop here, you're also not going to make the financial security, because what happens, so many people making money, but they keep thinking making money, never going to solve it. Christine, $100,000 you make this year is enough for you to live $1 million lifestyle.
True.
But if you knew how to put that money and structure into this way.
Different investments, yes.
Okay. So this is the bonus cost I give you. And by the way, what I forgot to say is that to earn $100,000, how much you need to bring to the marketplace in value. Based on the conversation we had.
And yes, you told me that I get paid only 10% of the value I bring to the market. So if I want to make $100,000, I have to bring $1 million value to the market. Value to the market. Yes. That way you don't even apologize for the money you're making, because the marketplace benefits the most. The problem, what people do, they write a $10 book and they want $10 in return. So we are trying to rip the market. Rip the market. Rip the market. The profitability of any business is about 10%. True. Who are you to think you're going to get everything and you don't give back to the market? So this is, and this is the first income. For this foundation, you do it. Whether you do business or not, you need to invest in yourself. Okay. You take what you know, what you're learning, turn into multiple streams of income. This is where you talk about to make your $250,000, $500,000. And then you're going to take that money and make sure you make friends around the world by understanding strategies, how to make money online. I'm not talking about online marketing. I'm talking about strategy that allows you to do a business with somebody in China, in other countries, using your message in a strategic way. And then make sure you benefit from the legal structure existing in the world to help you make sure the business works for you and keep more of that money. Okay. Rich people don't pay as much taxes as the poor people because they don't understand the system is there to protect and support you. Right now, look at COVID right now. You know people right now who are getting supported. I know the people on their knees are the people in business, because the government knows that if they don't get this small business get back to run, the economy will basically disappear. Because 70% to 90% of the jobs are created by small businesses. By the small business. And the incentives are there to help you do so. Yes. But people ask me, Jeffrey, can I benefit from the incentive in the US if I live in Kenya? If you knew, yes. Okay. Yes. If you knew. Because you don't know, you never know. Okay. And the one reason why people don't go this far, because they want to make a living. They want to make, they say, I want to be comfortable, whatever that means. And the final thing is to put a roof over your head, because if there's no roof, roof over your house, if there's no roof on this building and it rains, the whole thing gets damaged, right? Yes. Roof is called protection. Okay.
You know, a friend of yours, we're talking about your friend who basically into insurance and so on and so forth.
Yes.
You need to protect everything you have. I say to you, if you've never been sued before, not because they don't want to sue you, because you're poor.
I have nothing.
They don't sue poor people. But the day you become wealthy and the marketplace finds out you are, they will come after it until you learn to protect it. So many people, especially in Africa, they love to go around advertising. I have this, I have this. Oh, don't worry. It will be gone.
Sued very soon.
So protection, you protect yourself, you protect your income, you protect your business, you protect your system, you protect your family. Not because you're going to take this money with you, it's because you're going to use it to create foundations and programs that are going to make a difference in the world well after you're not here. It's about time Black people start building generation wealth, that the name Samaganda should be ongoing even if I die.
Very true.
So this would be what I throw in as a bonus for this program, because I know if you understood this, you all understand, Christine, that you actually don't need $500,000 here. You just need 100,000 to make $1 million.
Okay.
When you generate $100,000 in cash, if you understand the structure works, that 100,000 will make you worth $1 million on paper. And I might say this: you have to be worth $1 million on paper first before it shows up in your bank account. But people today, they don't even know how to make themselves being wealthy on paper. On paper. Does that make sense to you? If you can't even make yourself look like a millionaire on paper, how is that going to happen in real life? It's the most easy thing to do, but, and then they get mad when they see teenagers, kids in their 20s, they're worth millions on paper. And then you there wondering, but they don't have anything. They overvalue their businesses. It's always been like that. You valued more on paper than real life. So, Christine, you have any question, please ask.
All right, I would like to start. I have had all these emails. I have to go through all the people who have emailed me wanting to work with me since I did that video I was telling you about. And so I want to, I'll talk to each one of them. I'll get about, I want us to be in a group of 10 when we start this. When are we starting?
Christine, the thing is, right now, being in people need to take advantage of the lockdown right now. It's like almost, it's over.
It's almost
you need
finished,
to really, you need to take advantage of it now. You have 30 days that what's today? You got 7 days.
19th June, yes. So we can start next week on the 26th.
Yeah, if we basically can do that, in terms of, what happened? Okay. If you can basically figure out how to get ourselves ready in the next 7 days,
okay, then
what you have is that, by the way, let me say this, is that even though you will be in this program, but you'll still be working on your programs, because for you, we're going to be working on this as you're doing the program, because you need to move quickly. Based on that video, you need to move. Now, I don't know how you're going to do it, but you need to figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
I do my very best to assist, to support, but I do know that there's a way. If I have 10 of us working with this, let's say you and 9 more, we can basically not only create tools as we go forward, within 90 days, we can actually take people from zero to all this stuff. But they need to do that 30-day learning, because I want them to start from understanding what we are doing.
Okay.
And by the way, I might say this, is that when we let people sign on this particular program, we build a relationship with them.
Yes.
So when they pay $500, we're going to give them 10 times the value. But that's not what I want to talk about here. All I do know is that we want people to know, I've known you for a very long time, and even then I was still doing this. And if you had me, I'm still saying the same thing over those years. But it just been reaffirmed that if you can't really learn to get your message packaged in such a way that makes you look 10 times better than you are, then you're fighting a war that is harder than it should be.
Okay. Did something happen to the network? I don't hear you.
No, I just stopped talking, because I'm like, people make life harder for themselves. And also I will say this nicely. I know I haven't been in Kenya for a long time, and in Uganda here, people here get upset quite easily. Ugandans are really touchy. They just, if you say something, they get really mad. Let me say this to you, as a brother or sister. Listen, I don't know if you know, but I talk about in one of these books. We don't have that much time, and Christine, you might not be happy for me saying this, but I think I might as well. The average individual live around 75 years.
Okay.
Some goes on to 100.
Okay.
But roughly around 75 years. But every time, Christine, I ask people, you know how many days in 75 years?
You asked me that
People
the first time we
never thought about it.
spoke. You asked me that. And
They
I
must
thought,
just thinking like a lot of days.
yes.
And then you tell them, okay, let's work it out. 75. How many days in a year, Christine?
365.
365. That is basically
I was blown away.
27,
I thought I have at least 100,000 days.
75 days. Now, I don't know about you, Christine, but have I eaten quite a big chunk of this?
No, I've eaten
already?
most of it.
Yeah. So
I've already
now
struggled
I'm
and
looking
struggled.
after myself to make sure I live like the people reach 100. But
True.
ultimately, I know I'll be on borrowed time after that.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the case, and you're 25 years old or 55 years old or 65 years old, 75 years old, today is the youngest you'll ever be. But if I take that and time that by minutes, it's 60 minutes in how many hours? 24 hours in a day, right?
24, yes.
That's 600,057. Not even a million hours.
There's no time to waste.
In minutes times 60,
There's just no time.
39,400,000. We've just taken people's minutes.
Yes, we have.
If they're watching this.
Yes, we have.
Now, to take people's time, they're never going to get back. You better give value. So I'm challenging you that this time next year, you must be perceived as one of the best at what you do. You must be in a position to tell that story of yours in such a way that makes you connect with the best in the world. You must have a product that you give away to make a difference in people's lives, but at the same time opens doors to be able to build a business and life of security within the next 24 to 36 months, because we don't know 5 years how it's going to be. And hoping of these 5, 10, 20-year goals, I'm telling you, if you're over 35 years old, you don't need that much time. This is not a get quick rich program.
No, it's not.
But you get there quicker. But if you don't have a program, you won't get there. But your mindset must change, and you need somebody who's not going to tell you what you want, what you want to hear. And trust me, I've been around.
You have, haven't you?
I've been around.
Yes.
I've been in a position where I've been nothing, almost threatened to, what you talk about kicking out of your house? Oh no, I'm used to that. I got that when I was, so many times. Okay. But I've been in a position where a friend of mine just sent me a jet to buy. Just give you an example. Okay. They sent me an image yesterday, said, Jeffrey, I'm selling my jet. Can you please help me? Can you buy it? I need some money. Now, point I'm trying to make is that I'm not buying no jet. I'm not saying I have money to buy a jet. But the point is, like, to reach a stage, you can have a friend who actually believes you can actually
I'm a
buy
little short of funds. Do you think you can pick up my jet?
It's a little beautiful jet.
Wow. Just so I can deal with the numbers, how much does that jet cost?
Actually, it wasn't very expensive. This is a funny thing. That's why the guy thought I can afford it. Because the number is over there. You can see. $3.6 million.
Okay.
Only. Okay. I just told you, a friend of mine just went to buy some houses in London with a few million. So this would be chicken fee for him. So by the time I called him to say to buy it, it was already gone. Somebody did taken by 3.3. But the point I'm trying to make is that's not the money.
Yes.
You need to be in a position to have powerful friends, people making an impact in the world. But that can only happen when somebody's happy to tell their friends who you are.
Yes. Yes.
You go and meet some friends and people won't tell their friend they've been with you. They say, oh, I went out with some friends. Oh, we had a drink. But if you go and meet somebody important, you go home and tell your wife, your husband, your friends, I met Christine. I met this person. You even take selfie, you post in whatever. You need to up your standard so people see you like that. Okay, with that in mind, Christine, please just communicate with people. I'm happy to have a one-to-one with these guys if there's any question people have.
Okay.
But really, we started from a simple, how much is $500 in Kenyan shillings?
50,000 shillings. It's 50,000 shillings.
shillings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with that. And by the way, the idea is if they decide to go ahead to help them create this product we just talked about,
yes,
this will be free because we'll take that off for whatever they have to pay to create those programs. But we just need some
say that
people to
again. So I'm going to pay you the 50,000, but when we start to produce my products,
whatever
I will already have put down 50,000. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Because
Thank you.
50,000 because this is just to help you. Otherwise, I'm going to spend time put everything in you, and then you're going to waste my time. But if you go ahead, then it's free.
Okay. I'm definitely starting you. Okay. Let's start next week. If I have any questions, I'll get back to you. If anybody wants to ask any questions, I'll put them in touch with you. But thank you so much. I am starting the second half of my life. My second half starts now. Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
Take care, darling. Be safe.
All right. Thank you.